Hey guys, this is Javier with The Real Javier Novoa, a channel, a platform, and a modality where we apply the principles of philosophy, spirituality, mysticism, and business to rapid lifestyle transformation. Ladies and gentlemen, this week on Sunday we've started a journey. And basically what I've decided to do is guide you on one of these maniacal focus retreats. It's going to be a sort of extended one, and what we're going to invite you to do is to get very specific about your desires and show yourself how you can manifest it, how you can have it manifest by applying a lot of the principles that we teach in this channel. I think we're a unique channel in the world of philosophy and in the world of law of attraction and law of assumption, in that I want to make this eminently practicable. I want to make this immediately applicable to your life. And the way that we're really, shall we say, niching it down is rapid lifestyle transformation, as we said from the beginning. And the specific meaning and concept that we want to convey when we say rapid lifestyle transformation is getting free from a job and a boss within 6 months to a year. If you're not already. Or if you're in a business that's taking up so much of your time and energy that it feels like you've bought yourself a job and not a business, or you've started a job and not a business, we want to liberate you from that as well, because that's not why you came, ladies and gentlemen. I was just rereading Aristotle and Plato and the great early Greek philosophers, and you realize that they did not work. Of course, they had a class of people that worked for them and so on and so forth, and that's very ethically and morally wrong and so on and so forth. But they had the idea and the notion that the man of intellect was not to work in common trades. Now, that's not to say that you shouldn't pursue a common trade profession if that's your passion. Indeed, there was a lot wrong with the teachings of the ancient Greeks. But this concept of not having to work and being in absolute security so that you can develop your higher faculties is absolutely true. We see it in Krishnamurti, where he said that he would never work a job. He didn't care if he died, he would not. He manifested everything that he needed into his life. We're teaching you how to do that. We're teaching you to be able to pursue what you love. We're teaching you to be free so that you can design your schedule the way you want, and so that you can live in a way that's conducive to how human beings are set up to live. For example, we've talked about in videos in the past, we're not meant to simply sleep even for 7 or 8 hours straight, then go and work for 8 to 12 hours straight. No. We're naturally and biologically set up to sleep a few hours, then wake up and to pursue something, then to sleep a few hours and wake up and to pursue another thing. We're not biologically wired to just keep putting our noses to the grindstone and pursuing the same thing hour after hour, day after day. It gets boring, ladies and gentlemen. And as we've said in other videos, it's our promise to you that if you follow the blueprint that's going to be laid out for you here in the videos coming out later this week, as we've already started, you can, if you so choose, get free from a job and a boss, be independent, be on your way at least to living in a safe place, to being basically impervious to all of the craziness that's coming. And yes, there is craziness coming. We don't deny that either, in this film role at least. But you can have that all within 6 months to a year if you take this journey with me. And it's absolutely free. Of course, we do offer coaching calls, and those are going to even accelerate that. And I'm going to take you hand by hand through specific tools that are tailored to your personality and to your situation, and we're going to get you free faster than you thought possible. I am a coach in mental focus. I'm a coach in freedom. But before I get to the main nitty-gritty of this video, which is going to be a pretty short video, because what I just want to do is I want to review a little bit, take a little break down the hiking trail. We don't want to run too far too fast and get tired. We want to take breaks, and we're going to take a little break, a little respite today, or a respite. Not sure how to pronounce that word, but I've heard respite, I've heard respite, but Abraham Hicks says respite. We're going to take a little respite, and we're going to sort of review where we've gone, get back into touch with our center, realizing that this is all a game. And remember, you can get out of the game anytime you want. And then sort of map slowly the path going forward. But first I want to read an email that I got from the great Stephen Pressfield. I'm on his email list. And he's an author that we talked about a few days ago in relation to watching one of his interviews. And I've been following him for years, following his work. And he understands this stuff intuitively. And I know that he is familiar with the works of Joe Dispenza. But this email was written as if he's been following our videos, or as if he's in the same sort of mode. And that will happen because this is a vibrational universe, and vibrations do spread out, and they're basically permeated through the ether, so to speak. So when you find one person having an idea, you'll find a whole group of people having those ideas. And I hope this channel is, at least in the small part, on the cutting edge of that. But first, I'd like to invite you, if you have not already, if you enjoy these videos, if you like the material, if you resonate with the material, if the material resonates with you, please do subscribe to the channel, like the videos, and share the videos. Hit the subscribe button below, because not only will you join a community of master manifestors, you'll get alerts to all of my videos as they come out, which we are releasing daily with pleasure and with passion. I'm releasing a video daily for our subscribers. You'll also be helping me get the word out, because somehow the algorithm on YouTube does respond to more subscriber count in addition to other things, and we're trying to get established out there so that we can get this information out to as many people as possible. I do see it as a duty of mine to get this information out, to help free as many people as possible from the prison grid, so that we can be ready for what's coming, and so that we can thrive through that and come out on the other side on top and successful. So I'll give you a second to subscribe to the channel. Thank you so much for subscribing to the channel. So just in the spirit of where we've been going over the last few days, I want to read this email from Stephen Pressfield, which I believe was sent out today. I believe it was today. It is Wednesday. Congratulations, guys, on it being Wednesday, especially if you work at a job. You're almost there to Friday, and so on and so forth. We're going to get it to where you look forward to Monday, ladies and gentlemen. That's the ultimate goal of this channel, to get you looking forward to Monday. But I just want to read this in full. This is Writing Wednesdays, 8/23/2023, by Stephen Pressfield, the great author, the great writer. And he says this. He says, amateurs have amateur habits. And, of course, an amateur is someone who is just a dilettante. And we're not talking about academic credentials here. We're talking about point of view and attitude and the way people do things. So if you're approaching a business, a profession, rapid lifestyle transformation, getting off the prison grid, if you're approaching that as an amateur, that means that you're not all in, and you don't really believe that you can have it, and you're not looking for it as a full-time endeavor, as a full-time profession, and so you don't have the tools, and you're not dedicated. You're not really going into battle. You don't have the strategy, and so on and so forth. He says, pros have professional habits. And of course, the pro is one who's all in. By training. Training is exactly mental training. Mental rehearsal is exactly the name of the game. It's what we're doing on this channel, ladies and gentlemen. So, he says, the amateur, by contrast, either trains like an amateur or doesn't train at all. The passage below comes from Roseanne Cash's wonderful 2011 memoir, Composed. She was a musician, I suppose. From that moment, I changed the way I approached songwriting. I changed how I sang. I think that's the moment she decided to go professional, go pro. I changed my work ethic, and I changed my life. I sought out Marge Rivingston in New York to work on my voice, and I started training, as if I were a runner in both technique and stamina. And we're going to talk about this, how this relates to everything in our big picture focus that we're going to do here in the video. I started paying attention to everything, both in the studio and out. So you pay attention to everything. There's this great book that we've talked about before called Intuitive Investing. And he said, if you're an investor, which all of us are, by the way, according to the energetic translation or definition, you start to look at everything as an investment. If there's a shortage on a food item, so for example, there was a shortage on red chilies last week when I went to the store, and I started to explore this. And you'll explore everything from the point of view as an investor. Well, she saw everything from the point of view as a musician, okay? And what we want you to start doing is seeing everything from the point of view of how it can service your rapid lifestyle transformation, your absolute freedom within 6 months to a year. We're going to get into the nitty-gritty of that. So, if I found myself drifting off into daydreams, an old entrenched habit, I pulled myself awake and back into the present moment. Now, daydreams can be beneficial, and you have to allow yourself to daydream every now and then. In fact, some of my most creative moments came through daydreams. But I see what she's saying. Daydreams that are to no effect, daydreams that don't feel very good, daydreams which are another excuse for not doing your work. That's what she means. Instead of toying with ideas, I examined them and I tested the authenticity of my instincts musically. Testing is a very important tool in this channel. Empiricism. I stretched my attention span consciously. I read books on writing by Natalie Goldberg and Carolyn Hellbroom and began to self-edit and refine more. I went deeper into every process. Process, ladies and gentlemen, is the name of the game. And it's going to be by building systems and processes that you're going to be able to cross the finish line with least effort, or with less effort rather than you thought possible. So, I realized I'd earlier been working only within my known range, never pushing far outside the comfort zone to take any real risk. And remember, you expand your comfort zone. I started painting so I could learn about the absence of word and sound and why I needed them. Very interesting here. Using contrast to contemplate, contemplating something by contemplating its opposite, this goes into the via negativa that we talked about yesterday, and we will be touching on in more videos. I took painting lessons from Sharon Orr, who had a series of classes at a studio called Art and Soul. There's a word for the changes Roseanne incorporated into her life. Stephen Pressfield says training, and another one, turning pro. She said, I remained completely humbled by the dream that had precipitated these external changes, and it stayed with me through every waking hour of completing King's Record Shop. I vowed the next record would reflect my new commitment. Rodney Crowell, Roseanne's then husband, was at the top of his game as a record producer, but I had come to feel curiously like a neophyte in the studio after the dream. Everything seemed new, frightening, and tremendously exciting. I had awakened from the morphine sleep of success into the life of an artist. Meaning, all of life, as Boris Berezovsky said, is about expansion. Therefore, if you're in a comfort zone for too long, it becomes just physical comfort. Therefore, that's not really emotional comfort, that's boredom. And a lot of people mistake comfort with boredom, and boredom is going not in the way that you want, it's going the opposite direction of where you want. So always stimulate yourself, always challenge yourself, and always be pursuing these new dreams. That's part of the message here. So Stephen Pressfield goes back into this. When we take ourselves and our artistic aspirations seriously, we resolve to move from working like an amateur to working like a pro. We ask ourselves, how can I get better? What do I have to do to become a worthy vessel for my gift? Of course, we know we're all worthy, but we know what he means. How can I feel worthy of it? How can I embody that and be it? Little commentary from the real Javier Novoa here. How can I elevate myself from where I am now to the higher, truer, more realized artist I know I can be? How can I elevate myself to rapid lifestyle transformation? There's a word for that answer. It starts with a T, and he means training. So ladies and gentlemen, what we're doing in this series of the channel, in this aspect of the channel, is basically this, okay? We want you to turn pro and become a professional in these specific goals of being free from a job and a boss. Why? Because you deserve that, ladies and gentlemen. Because it's what you came for. And when you have this ground level of security, of freedom, that's the launching pad for you to start to create what you truly came for. And this is all mental and psychological, because once you start taking steps on that journey, you're psychologically there, and then what you want to create will start to come into relief of its own accord without any effort. That's what we're doing. So basically what we're doing, what we've been doing, is laying the groundwork for figuring out exactly what it is you want. Getting into the state of that, that's preliminary. Snapping into the state of that and practicing that, ladies and gentlemen. Training, mental training. You're mentally rehearsing so that that state of where you want to be feels so natural that you are it, and it feels more natural than your waking reality. Once you get there, there's nothing else really you have to do. But then for the joy of the journey, we're now teaching you how to plan the journey and how to craft a path forward. What are we going to be doing in the next few days? We're going to be figuring out exactly the tools, the skills, and the knowledge that you need to get from where you are to where you want to be on this film roll. Of course, you will be jumping to another film roll. But these are just the first steps towards that. And I hope you understand me just a little bit. When you take the first step, and every step is the first step, by the way, you're basically walking in your new being, your new state. And you're basically proving through action, not that you have to prove it, but it is being proven through you that you're indeed there in that state. Not to mention the fact that we talked about a few months ago in a video, that the path to your desire is as much a desire as the desire. Therefore, you desire a path. Otherwise, you wouldn't even be seeking a path, ladies and gentlemen. You would just vision it, you would get in the state in it, you would be it. But you are seeking a path, I think, because it's fun to have a path. Because we're business people, because we're practical. There's nothing that you have to do here. This is all for the love of the game, in the game, and for the fun of the game. You want to play the game. And you want to play it as efficiently, with as much grace as possible, and you want to cross the finish line with as much joy as possible, and in as little time as possible. Yes, as soon as possible. That's why we call it rapid lifestyle transformation. We're not fooling around here, ladies and gentlemen. We're on this path. And what we're going to figure out in the next few days, what are the skills, what are the tools, what's the knowledge, what are the components of it. And then we're going to figure out what is the 10% of those that are going to get you 90% of the results. And we're going to acquire those in small periods. We're talking hours and days. But we're going to focus on it for at least a little while, to exclusion to everything else. You have a lot of projects. We're going to ask you to shorten that list of projects and only deal with projects that are for your rapid lifestyle transformation. People give years to university education. Why can you not give a few hours to a few days focusing specifically on something that's going to be paying dividends for the rest of your life? The prison grid doesn't want you to do this, because the prison grid doesn't want you to get off the prison grid. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we are getting you free from the prison grid. We're doing it within a matter of a few days. You don't want to miss the videos that are coming up in a few days to get you on the path. To have you on the path. It's going to be intense. It's simple. It's not always going to be easy, but you can find the ease. And you want to take lots of breaks in between. What we recommend is you work for 20 minutes, take a 10-minute break. Work for 20 minutes, take a 10-minute break. You don't want to do this for more than 3-4 hours a day, but you do want to focus in the time that you're spending so that you can develop these skills rapidly. That's what we're doing, ladies and gentlemen. Now, remember, this is not the only path. This is a path. And if you don't resonate with this, feel free to watch our past videos on law of assumption and so on and so forth, ongoing general, and we will be making more videos in the future on this. But this is the modality that we're pursuing. But remember, you can get out of this game anytime that you want. Whenever it feels hard, whenever it feels heavy, whenever it feels like you're struggling just a little too much, or you're trying to force yourself to do something, you can get out of that. And it's just as easy. You can take an afternoon off. You can take a day off. You can take 3 days off. And we encourage that. But keep it in your planner. We recommend the GTD, or Getting Things Done system. You can look that up. We've talked about it in past videos. Get a system. Keep it in your system. And then just take a break. Get into alpha. You can do it in as short or as long as you want. You do it in 30 seconds. And just say, thank you, Father. I'm overwhelmed, but I know that I'm already it. And I'm just taking a little break from the game. And just there, within a few seconds, you feel the relaxation going through you. You can do that, as Joe Goldsmith said, 100 times a day. So remember to relax. See today is sort of like a break on the hiking path. We're going to be picking up tomorrow again in earnest. We're going to be getting more specific. You don't want to miss that. I am doing coaching calls, as I said. I will put my email in the description. You can have a coaching session with me tomorrow, and we can go personally into a plan for you to change your life within months, ladies and gentlemen. It doesn't have to take years. Again, please subscribe and like to our channel. Thank you for watching. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for sharing the videos. Thank you for your questions. I love them. I'm always open. You can always email me, join our Facebook group, or you can post them in the comments. So, till very soon, ladies and gentlemen. Until tomorrow, this is Javier with great love and appreciation. I'll see you soon.